So you had a bad day. Deal with it. I, I reword that a little bit, I guess. I was trying to process the different ways that people behave when they're around others according to the way that their day has been going. For example, if a person's feeling wronged or cheated in some way, something happens to them. It can ruin their entire day over one small event. I got a perfect example. I was at work today, and I dropped my phone. I'm working on a deck back there, and I just got this new hoodie. Part Lumber came and gave us all free hoodies to our job site. I was like, that's cool. So I put it on, and I proceeded to put I listened to my headphones from my phone, put it into the little pocket here, and everybody who wears hoodies knows, don't put stuff in that pocket if you want to keep it. Anyway, it fell down between the deck boards, right onto a concrete pillar, and just totally demolished the screen. Not even usable. I mean, it's like half the screen is black, and I can't use it at all. So I was just like, oh well. I went back to work and did my thing. Later on, there's this guy I work with, and his name's Dominique, and I walked up and I was like, look at this shit, dude. I told him what happened, and he's like, oh man, he's like, if that happened to me, man, I might just have to go home. He's like, I'd be so mad I'd have to go home. And I know he was just kind of joking, but kind of not. I mean, I could tell that his phone meant that much to him. And I use my phone for everything. I'm like all the rest of you. I use it for I don't use any YouTubing on my phone. I don't generally surf the web on my phone, but I text and I call and I need my phone. The most important thing I use my phone for is checking traffic before I go home. I look on the GPS thing and it shows me if traffic's heavy because I have two different ways I can go. So anyway, yeah, I could have been all upset about it and I wasn't. I just let it go, and I realized that I know people who, if that happened to them, they would be bitching about it still, right now. God, I can't believe I broke my phone. And over the years, I've had my experiences with being angry about things, carrying my anger and resentment. I've never been an angry person, and I'm not the kind of person who gets all pouty and doesn't voice myself, because I always voice what I have to say. I don't hold things in, and maybe that's to my benefit, maybe not, depending on the situation. But I'm pretty open with the way I feel, so I don't hold things in. But if that's just a discussion with somebody else, like if somebody says something that makes you mad, to let them know that they made you mad. I've said things to people that have made them angry that they didn't tell me made them angry until much later, weeks or even months, and I had no idea this person was upset. And then it come to find out that it's all over a misinterpretation of what I said, or the words, or maybe it got sent wrong, or they picked up the complete wrong thing on a text. This is why I have an issue with text messaging, and the same issue with YouTube, with the comments section. Sometimes I'll respond to somebody's comment and I'll think, ooh, that sounded cocky. But I can't help it because I'm not, I'm typing words. I can't put any real emphasis on it. Even with italics and everything, I still couldn't really get my point across. You can't. But, it's hard enough for me to express myself in my videos. And I still come across wrong. And so, if somebody says something, clarify what they mean so you're not angry at them or angry over something dumb. I've seen people talking shit about another person for the longest time over something that's not even true because they just misinterpreted it. And it's so common, it's just ridiculous. But I don't know if it's something we can really overcome as a species, because we are always going to have some sort of a conflict between people over little things. But it's up to you as an individual whether you want to drag that with you around all day and be mad about something, or if you want to resolve it on the spot and just be done with it. And I've realized over the years that when I'm attached to something that somebody said, or something that's really bothering me, I realize it's It's either because A, they are way, way overly invasive and out of line. Say somebody's totally off base and totally mistaken, and you really want them to know that they're mistaken, because both your images are tarnished by the way they view this. But not just the image that you have of the person, but I don't do that very often. I mean, I do, but not my videos. I completely lost my train of thought. We have a discussion with someone, and we can walk away mad, or we can walk away with something out of it. What I found is when people walk away mad, they're either A, mad because they really know the other person is wrong and they don't want both their images to be tarnished, or B, because they know the other person is so right that they don't want to hear it. Basically telling people what they don't want to hear. You know, this is so common. All of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have a friend that has a problem, and you don't ever bring that problem up because it's the unspoken problem. And when somebody from the outside maybe says, oh, hey, you should do this, or you should stop doing this, instantly they get defensive. Not because they're mad at the person because they're wrong, but because they know they're right. But it's something that they're not used to confronting. When people tell me something that angers me, that I drag around with me, I generally sit and analyze it and say, why is this making me angry? And over the years, I've developed a point where I don't get angry anymore. You know, even some of my people might say, oh, you seemed heated in your video. But I'm not. I'm not heated. It's just really hard for me to kind of express myself without seeming heated or intense. People have said, oh, you know, you gotta relax, chill out. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm very chill. This is my chill. This is how I chill. You know, I even try to space my words out in my videos so I'm not just blah, 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 but I can't. It's just how I talk, and it's who I am. So I'm trying to embrace everything in life to the best I can, being human, you know, and being realistic without trying to pretend like I'm something I'm not, or you know, have unrealistic goals or desires. And by doing that, I think it keeps me from harboring that resentment and that anger that people have. You know, I just don't have time for it. You know, it's time to step back sometimes and just look at your life for what it really is, which is a mystery. You know, we build these little boxes and we put ourselves into these corrals and follow these patterns to attain these particular desires or these particular positions in life. And we forget that you could just step out of that line, that corral, and do your own thing at any time. You can break free of the monotonous bullcrap. And I know I'm getting from being, you know, my video has gone from being emotional to kind of, or from harboring resentment to saying, hey, you know, take the bull by the horns kind of thing. And I think that that's what the key to the connection there is, that if you find yourself getting angry a lot, you can most likely be assured that you're not doing something right in your life. You can blame the people around you and say your circumstances have caused this or that, but reality is all your point of view. It's that old saying, change your mind, change your life. You know, you could say, well, I'm broke, but you're eating and you have shelter. There's some people who don't have either one of those that are still happy. It's all perspective, and we build these like illusions of how we should always be in our comfort zones, and when we break away from that, all of a sudden we go, yeah, it gets overwhelming. So I guess that's about it. The video's gotten long enough. Try to keep them under 10 minutes, but sometimes it ain't so easy. If I could end this on any note, I would just say, you know, that just be who you be. You know, and I'm not. That sounds like I'm telling people how to be. No, be who you be, how you want to be. You know, it's not how I don't have the answers. I'm just a dude. I'm just one guy who lives a pretty average life. No major excitements, no major depressions. But that stability has allowed, emotional stability has allowed me to build a foundation of integrity that I have found has made my life much more rich, much more interesting, and keeps my brain constantly thinking of new ideas without feeling overwhelmed. So, namaste to everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.